So tell us your first day, Long Beach High School head coach, right? What do you say to those kids?
Well, I was here prior for a year, so I was here under a really good coach, Coach Jim Bernhardt, who became a professional coach. He coached with the Houston,
Texans?
the Texans.
Oh, wow.
He was at Penn State after the whole, situation they had up at Penn State. He was actually the next head coach after Paterno passed away. But he was like an interim getting ready for Bill O'Brien. So,
Okay, got it.
So Bernhardt was a great guy, and I was able to work with him for 1 year, and I learned from 1 year. I mean, I did this with a lot of different coaches, but Bernhardt was one. From working in him for 1 year, I learned so much. Mm-hmm. So that when I came in that first year, I already had my plans. I already wanted to be a head coach. I already had all that stuff, but he pushed us that way. So I already had a lot of the designs that he had. I was able to take over. So that gave me some good confidence. And I just loved football, and I always wanted to be a part of a program that did it the right way.
Yeah.
So that I was at the helm, I was trying to do everything the right way, trying to be sound football-wise, a great support system for the students, and then really trying to bring in a staff, because the only way you can coach football is with the staff. You need good guys, you need dedicated guys, you need guys that know what they're talking about and that are grounded, that they run their own stuff, which is right now what my guys do. My offensive guy, my defense, they run their own things.
Yeah.
That's their plan coincided with my plan, but they have that. And when you have a staff that they're part of the program, they're just not working for somebody, they're a part of it, and the program's there, and the play calls are there, and the ideas are there. It really comes with a collaboration, and that's what teams really need to be good. So it took a long time, because that takes time to develop. The relationship with the kids is tough right away when you start coaching, because I tell a lot of young coaches this, is those kids aren't really your kids. You didn't train them, you didn't bring them up, but they're there and they're meaningful, and you have to respect them, and they should play, meaning the seniors and juniors you didn't train. But your players are really down the line. So a lot of times when coaches take over, sometimes there's friction between the returning players and the new coaches. And the new coaches, I try and tell them, you need to just keep those returners, you got to treat them well, because this is their program and your program's down the line. So just keep that in mind, because there will be bumps in the road, and they weren't taught by you, they weren't trained by you, and they're not going to fully trust you right away. Even if you're the greatest coach, it's going to take time. So there's bumps in the road, and you have to realize that. But I always try and say, don't ignore those seniors, because they're not yours. They still deserve what they do, and this is their team, and they put the work in, and you just have to understand their mentality. So when there's friction, you understand it and try to alleviate it those first few years. But it was a tough go the first few years, just trying to find our niche and trying to find the right coach in the right spot, because that's important too, because I always feel that any coach is valuable. Anyone who comes in, someone could come into the staff, and I've heard this in other staffs, is this coach doesn't know much about whatever, offense, defense, offensive line, so we can't use them. And it's like, no, in football there's like a million jobs. There's a job for everybody. So anybody, any volunteer that wants to come along, any young coach, if we have a spot open and they want to give it a shot, which we've had, come in, give them a job, and then build it from there. And then, might not be just like a player. It might not be the best staff member, but progress 3, 4, 5 years, next thing you know, they are the best one. And I'm sure a lot of coaches around around the country will say that. High school, youth league, just gotta push those guys, and got to keep them, and you got to try to get everybody useful. So it was an exciting start, but now that it's running, it kind of runs smoothly.
Yeah.
Now that the season and the program is running, which is another thing that we used to tell the staff is, early on, maybe we didn't have the players or as many players as we wanted. And it's like, guys, just get the program, the practice, the preparation, all the routines, get them down so that when the players come, you'll be winning championships, or you'll be at the doorstep of winning championships because of the prep that you did before. So it's been a ride, and I owe the credit that we had success in the last 4 or 5 years to the staff. They put a ton of work in, and they work well together, and they love the kids, and we've had some tremendous talent.